Elves are ready for war. Hey, how's it going? My name is jackiefishhh and welcome back to some more Rise of Mordor Total War. Today we have an epic battle on a glorious custom map. This is the River Eisen and this is a ford as the Elves are preparing for war against the Dwarfs. However, Dwarfs are not as stupid as they may seem. They have set up a beautiful looking ambush ready to catch the Elves off guard and take them for all they are worth. You can see some more of their reinforcements moving into the forest as we speak, getting ready just to descend upon the Elven forces. The Elves though are going to be using their cunning to push across the river with everything they have got. You can see right now they are cheering, ready for battle. So if we take a look at the Elven units whilst they are preparing to move up, then we will see, you can see they have just been given the order. The first ranks are moved across the river as we speak. The Elves have these spearmen, they also have these swordsmen, and again I should mention that these are not official Rise of Mordor units, these are an additional sub-mod. I'm sure that Rise of Mordor will have their own versions of these units in the game at some point in the future, but I'll make sure to link both this and also the sub-mod down below so you guys can play with the Elves and the additional units, because it's a really nice sub-mod indeed. So as I said, they have swordsmen, they have spearmen, they also have these archers back here somewhere. Yeah, they have a ton of really cool looking archers. You can see their bows right there looking very glorious. And then finally we do have some of their elven cavalry. So the elves are always really strong as they descend upon the river. Then if we take a look at the Dwarven formation, they have some of the Vault Wardens right here. And the elves look like they have taken the bait as they push up. The dwarfs are retreating back, trying to encourage them across the river so that their ambush forces can just push in and slaughter them, which is going to be a really exciting battle. And massive thank you to my Discord for playing this battle, as you know, these scenario engagements are always so goddamn fun. So as you can see, we have the Vault Wardens for the dwarfs, and we just have some of these threshold troops. These guys that are basic dwarfs, you know, a bit of armor here and there, nothing too crazy, but I definitely like the look of it, and you know, it kind of adds in some weaker lower tier infantry. Again, a lot of these sub-units aren't official Rise of Mordor, they're part of the sub-mod, but it's really awesome that you can kind of expand the roster whilst also, you know, keeping quite true and using the same assets as Rise of Mordor themselves. So then we have the Spear Guard of Erebor back here. This isn't a Rise of Mordor unit. Again, looking very decent, ready to do battle. We have some more axemen, we've already seen the Vault Wardens. Then if we take a look over at the little ambush force, the crossbowmen are basically hidden in the tall grass. You can literally barely even see them because they are so short already. So the shrubbery is covering them pretty nicely. We then have some more axemen along with the Grimhammers. These are the hard-hitting infantry for the dwarfs with them huge warhammers. They're going to be ready just to dive into this combat. So the elves are still marching across pretty much with all their forces, and they only expect to be fighting the small portion of the dwarven force which they've seen on the hill. They think that the dwarfs aren't smart enough, aren't cunning enough to set up an ambush, because these, you know, the elves are eternally smart, so they expect they're simply just going to rush across here, take out this initial force, and the dwarfs are just very stubborn. But this day, the elves are going to be surprised and taken care of. I should also mention, obviously this is a custom map as well, a beautiful looking one made by Empty. He's done a great job, and I really do love the trees. They're not too like over encompassing at whatsoever. You know, there's a lot of trees, but you can zoom in and kind of watch the battle unfold underneath the trees, and there's not like loads of stuff in the way or anything. The shade is really nice, so I think he's done a great job of kind of getting these forest battles going without them just kind of being overwhelming and kind of covering up too much. So what we'll do is we'll jump ahead of the battle when the elves are preparing to cross the final part of the river. The elves are crossing the river, walking straight into the Dwarven ambush. I mean, that's pretty crazy to say. Dwarven ambush, normally the dwarfs just like the frontal assault. But today they're being a bit cunning and they've outsmarted the elves as they are pushing across the river. They have a nice little rear guard right here guarding their general. However, the advanced force is looking just to push forward and walking straight into the Dwarven trap right now. You can see the Dwarven shield all straight up there. We're going to pretend that they're a bit more hidden than they are, but they are soon to be absolutely collapsed upon. The Elves are just focusing on what's straight ahead of them right here. The Dwarfs taunt them. They are also in shield wall as well, preparing to take on this battle. This should be a very, very exciting engagement. And look how great that looks. Just the Elves coming in at the distance with Dwarven shield walls ready to hold firm. And when is the Dwarven ambush about to be sprung? I mean, there are a lot of Elves here right now as well. Did they advance through any archers out of interest? I don't think they did. No, they may just advance heavy infantry, which is going to be quite telling for them, you know. It's going to be hard for them to take this on.
It's an ambush!
Oh, there we go. The ambush has been sprung. The infantry is going to be pouring out as the Dwarven shield walls are getting ready to hold. We'll get a nice little glimpse down here of the shield wall as the Elven formations do roll up. Oh, look how cool this looks as well. The Elves are advancing in shield wall as well. The advanced force foe smashing into the ranks. I mean, the Elves are still extremely good warriors, so even though they have been ambushed, they're edging closer and closer towards the battle. The shield walls getting in closer and closer. And here we go, soldiers coming flying out of the forest right now, looking just to surround this force. The crossbows as well be so telling. Yeah, look at that. The crossbow fire coming in, slaughtering the ranks of the Elves as they're just being surrounded right now by the Dwarfs. Men coming in from every single angle. The Elves are going to be reforming, and they've suddenly seen the deception of the Dwarfs, and they are advancing their final reinforcements, sending them in to try and stop this from happening as the Elves just form this beautiful box formation to try and withstand the assault. This is beautiful right now. Nothing like a good Lord of the Rings battle on a Wednesday afternoon, let me tell you. This is awesome as the Elves and Dwarfs are fighting. Now the Dwarfs might want to try and advance more of their forces, mainly because the Elves are going to be a hard nut to crack. You know, even though they've ambushed them, even though they've taken them by surprise, the Elven infantry are very, very strong, so it's not like they can simply be smashed away, and especially because the Dwarves have a lot of these weaker units on the front line, the Elves aren't going to be dying too much. I mean, the crossbow fire is going to be the huge damage dealer, especially because they're hitting these Elves in the back. Oh, wow! This is a massacre right now. But I imagine once the Elves can get more soldiers up here, you can see they're already sending some of their cavalry down this right-hand side. And I imagine the cavalry is going to go flying into the Dwarven crossbowmen, as the Dwarfs do not have much left to do this. Oh, they're going to be charging forward with the Grimhammers, but even the Grimhammers aren't going to be a match to take care of these Elves as their cavalry comes flying in right now in the woods. They are turning this battle on its head right now. Awesome. Oh, god damn, I love Lord of the Rings, man. This is just so epic as the rest of the forces go across. Now, granted, I don't think this other kind of reinforcement block has been noticed yet. So these Dwarfs, and these are a lot of Axemen. The Axemen are good killing units, can now descend upon and hit their Archer force. Oh god, yeah, the Archer force has now turned up for the Elves, and this is going to be brutal. I mean, look at all that arrow fire going out. They're going to be just killing so many Dwarfs, even though the Elves have been taken by surprise. This is going to be a good little ambush right here by the Dwarfs sending out, but the Elves are going to be sending their reinforcements over here to go ahead and match them. These are two-handed sword infantry as well, which are very deadly. These guys are going to be just decapitating the Dwarfs. The Dwarfs are hitting back as well as more and more swordsmen do turn up for the battle. Slicing through that Elven armor like it was paper. The battle is just fully erupting right now. If we go ahead and take a look at this, we can see the full engagement. The Elven cavalry was caught out here, but they've got more back in reserve, and these guys are going to be charging down onto the Dwarven line right here, trying to break through these Grimhammers. But the Grimhammers are going to be very, very difficult to break through, even though they're not kind of made to deal with Elven cavalry. Still doesn't matter too much, honestly. With the crossbow fire coming in, and obviously the Dwarfs being as short as they are, they can definitely take a lot of them down. We do have a unit of the Grimhammers seemingly being surrounded right now, along with the Axemen as well, as the Elves do try and take them out. And the Archer fire is coming in now by the Elven forces. The reinforcements, though, do come in, and they're hitting a lot of these elven archers. And if they can simply just take out these archers before they can really do a lot of damage, that is going to be huge. That really, really is. You can see, though, the elves knowing their worth and just shooting over the hilltop. They also have dispatched their archers over onto this right-hand side as well, and using it just to cover fire on the secondary reinforcement, especially because they're literally right into the side of these Grimhammers as well. The Grimhammers left alone probably would be enough to take care of these elves, but with the archer fire coming in, I imagine this unit will be getting taken care of. We do also have crossbows back here as well, which are all shooting, but maybe they need to be pushed forward and just having them all focusing down the elven range. How's the front line doing? Oh, the Vault Wardens have been brought up, and I love the look of the Vault Wardens. I think their shields on the side of their pikes is just so awesome. It's kind of hard to see now. You can see them right here. I think that just looks so cool, having their shields on that side, giving them a bit of protection. Just adds in a lot of flavour to the unit, I think. So the Elven Wall is, slowly getting less and less. If we take a look at the balance of power, if I can get kind of a nice little overview right here. If we take a look at the balance of power, we can see that the Dwarfs are slaughtering the Elves right now. They literally are not standing a chance whatsoever. Even the Elven General as well is being pushed in. The Dwarven General, sorry. Yeah, the Dwarven General has been completely pushed up right here. And he is just going ham, like a Dwarf should, honestly. As more and more of the Axe Guard come flying in, this ambush is just going so well for the Dwarfs. They are proving their worth as they come flying in. The elves screaming, "Rome is mother to us all." I mean, that is very true. Rome is mother to us all. The elves, the dwarfs, and the humans, even the orcs. Let's not discriminate. I can't believe how strong the dwarfs are doing this. I honestly thought the elven units are really, really strong. And so because of that, we gave the elves, I think 2 units less or something, 2 units worth of money less to try and make it a bit more even. But this ambush, I guess, is just, really paying dividends for the dwarfs and showing that cunning is the currency of the day. More and more elves are being broken here as more and more of the archers are being pushed in. The crossbow fire, I think, really the MVP of the battle right now, as it's piercing the armor, the heavy armor of a lot of these elven units. The elves, though, even though surrounded, even though surrounded, they're doing okay, but these are Grimhammers they're up against the heavy Dwarven Warhammers. I mean, a lot of them dwarfs just gone down there. You see the heads just simply being decapitated by the elven, skillful warriors. But even as Pippin, is it Pippin or Merry? I think it's Merry. Is it Pippin? No, yeah. As Pippin says, even the mightiest warrior can be slain by 1 arrow. Boromir was slain by 3. Well, this time the mightiest elven warriors are being slain by bolts as they come flying in. The front line is making progress, honestly, though. Maybe they can go all Teutoburg Forest here and try and cut their way forward and break through the center lines. I mean, the dwarfs even have their cavalry back here, some merchant guard which they've paid to come in and help out, just waiting, these 4 units. I guess they don't want to pay these guys if they don't have to. Vault Wardens here just keeping the enemy at bay. These shield walls coming in as well. Very, very fierce indeed. The elves, though, it looks like the elves are going to be broken this day. More and more of their units falling down as their soldiers are getting surrounded. And the more and more, look at the elves just fleeing the battle. These guys have had enough. They are retreating away. Let's do some slow-mo now, I think. Let's go ahead and do some slow-mo. I want to watch this battle fully unfold. I mean, as it looks like the Elven Last Stand is going down. There's not many of them left. The battle will be over very soon, honestly. Actually, maybe we don't even have time for slow-mo as more and more reinforcements come flying in. The Merchant Guard going to come in and finish off the Elven Infantry. The last units, there we go. We don't even have time for slow-mo. And there we have it. The battle has been lost by the elves. That ambush was just so perfectly timed, killing them, cutting them down, and I think barely any of the dwarves actually died. Yeah, the Dwarfs only lost 1,300 men in battle. They had 2,100 soldiers left remaining. Whereas we look at the forces of the Elves, we can see that they lost 2,200 Elven soldiers with only 455 to tell the tale. But I'm sure they will go back and they will not forgive and they will not forget. What a great battle that was. I really enjoyed the way that it was set up. I love these scenario battles, and hopefully you guys do as well. Do let me know in the comments if you guys want to see more scenario battles, whether it is stuff like the Battle of the Five Armies, which if you haven't seen, I'll make sure to link it at the end of this video. Probably the best Lord of the Rings battle I've ever done on the channel. Definitely worth watching. It was just such an epic map, such epic players. We had, I think, something like 19,000 soldiers to truly go ahead and create a Battle of Five Armies. And we try to keep it quite close to the movie, where we did have the Elves and Dwarfs forming up, and the Men of Dale running back to defend the city as the walls got destroyed, with all the armies coming in from all different directions. It was a very, very cool battle, so I do highly recommend going and checking it out if you have the time to do so. But yeah, so yeah, let me know if you want to see more scenario battles, even if it's just kind of like, these scenario battles like this where we have maybe reinforcement armies turning up or stuff like that. I'm also planning on doing a troll video as well, probably for the weekend, because they have updated them a little bit to make them a little bit cleaner as they, progressively get more and more done and finished, which will be very exciting. But yeah, if we take a look at the kills first off, taking a look at Genki's army, who was playing as the Elves, the general unit actually getting 103 kills, which is, always pretty nice indeed, especially because they only killed 1,300. So that's like 1/13 of all the kills the Elves managed to acquire, honestly. The Elven Archers, honestly, doing okay, but they really just needed to take up that extra notch, They just needed to go ahead and have a bit more of support, and maybe they could have just racked up the initial kills. But that's the whole point of the battle, right? To be a mega ambush. The spearmen just getting slaughtered, whether that was by the crossbows or by the infantry. They just did not stand a chance. And then, sorry, that's the infantry. Sorry, these swords look like bows. Yeah, the sword infantry doing okay, but nothing great. And then, the archers, again, just not really holding their own. The cavalry being the best kill in the game right there, 119. Yeah, very impressive. Then if we take a look over onto the Dwarven ranks, we can see that their general didn't actually get involved whatsoever. So that must have been the Elven general fighting there, not the Dwarven general, my mistake. But yeah, their axe infantry, 100 kills plus on all of them. This Grimhammer unit getting almost 200 kills, and then their crossbows all doing very admirably as well. So overall, a very, very exciting battle, and it's funny to see as well that the Merchant Cav, or the Caravan Guard, coming in right towards the end of the battle, just killing a few elves as they try and flee. But definitely the MVP being this unit of Grimhammers with 3 chevrons of silver and 190 kills. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this beautiful Wednesday afternoon battle as the Elves and Dwarfs fight. I mean, it's always exciting seeing the Elves and Dwarfs fight, really, honestly, isn't it? So let me know what you guys want to see next in the comments down below. I'm thinking of doing the Battle of Helm's Deep very, very soon, the movie size one, so it's a lot more confined, and maybe we'll just have some like really, really OP elves. I'll maybe see if I can even get bloody Magpie, the guy who makes the submod, to give us some really super OP elves just to hold the castle, and we'll just send like 15,000 Urukai against them, so we can actually have that feeling of, like 1,200 elves against 10,000 Urukai or something. I think that'd be very, very exciting. But yes, as always, make sure to leave a like and a comment, subscribe for more if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in the next one.